Hi, I'm Erica and I live fully off-grid with my husband and 2 kids. Today I'm going to show you a couple of things we've been doing to prepare for our first winter at our off-grid homestead in Canada. Winter is creeping ever closer and we live off-grid in Canada. Our wood stoves, which heat 2/3 of our house, are going to be burning constantly. So we need to do some things to prepare them for the season ahead. The wood stove in our living room didn't have any Firebricks in it, so Mark's cleaning out all the ash and placing Firebricks around the walls. Now, Firebricks protect the walls of the wood stove from warping. They also retain heat, so the fire will burn more efficiently and we won't have to use as much wood. Right now we use our wood ash for a dust bath in the chicken run, but after some research I've discovered there's a lot more you can use it for: gardening, cleaning, so I'm gonna need to look into that more. Let me know what you use wood ash for and what I should try in the comments. There is a chemical compound called creosote that builds up in the chimney over time, and it's very flammable. So if you have enough of it and you have a spark that flies high enough or a high enough temperature in your wood stove, that creosote can catch on fire and you can have a whole chimney fire that will burn really hot and very possibly burn your house down. So we plan to avoid that by cleaning the chimneys every fall before winter comes, and we'll be burning the wood stoves constantly. So Mark got out the chimney brush. I am moving these chairs away from this wood stove because we're not sure if there are gaps somewhere and you're cleaning the chimney, things can fly out. So I just don't want anything to get on these chairs. So Mark removes the chimney cover there and just gets down there with the brush and starts scrubbing, and everything's gonna fall down into the wood stove, so we'll have to clean it out afterwards. You do want to give the creosote some time to settle, because if you just open the door right after doing this, some could come out. Apparently it's very nasty and difficult to clean off of things, so best to avoid that. The way the wood stove in the kitchen is designed, the creosote wouldn't fall directly into the wood box, and so Mark initially thought, okay, we need to remove part of the chimney, we'll tape a bag around it for the creosote to fall into, and then reattach it. But then he figured out that we can actually just remove the burner plates that are on top of the stove there and reach in there with our shop vac to vacuum out the creosote that falls down. So didn't need, after all, to take off any part of the chimney, which was nice. Isn't that just the nicest sound? So now Mark's removing the burner plates and just giving everything a good vacuum. Just want to remove as much of that creosote as possible, and it's built up on those as well. So you can see in here all those little brown bits. It's creosote that was scraped off from inside of the chimney. And the more we vacuum out, the more falls down. So we know that it needed to be done. There was a lot in there. The wood stove in the kitchen has an oven compartment on the bottom. So there was some ash down there. Mark cleaned out and then removed the bottom plate. And you can see there's a ton of creosote that fell down there.
No wonder it wasn't hot down here. The smoke couldn't get it.
Spring when we first moved in and I tried to bake a couple things in this oven, it really took a long time to get hot, and now we know why. Everything was all plugged up around it. There's just creosote and ash all throughout the back wall there where the heat should have been coming through. So now we're anticipating that baking will be easier in the wood stove. We are fully off-grid, and part of that, a major part, is our solar system. I'll leave a link to our full off-grid home tour so you can learn more about that. But the solar system is based in the shop. The solar panels are on the roof of the shop, and the batteries and the monitoring system, everything else is on the inside. And it is very important that the batteries and the system do not freeze. Apparently what the previous owners did was they kept a fire going all winter long in the shop to prevent those things from freezing. And now we have kids, and that just seems totally ridiculous to do. So we are not doing that. Mark is constructing a wall to make a little room around this system. And he's going to insulate it, and we'll have a little heating blanket in there on top of the batteries. And that should be plenty to keep everything warm, especially because the system itself does generate a little bit of heat. The side wall of this room is going to extend out a little bit past these wood shelves on the left here. So that's what Mark is doing first. He measured and put in the wood that would frame that tiny little side of the wall. And then he's going to create the wall for the long side. He did all his measuring and is pre-cutting all of the wood before starting to put anything together. Next, he's laying out all the pieces on the floor as they should be, just to make sure he's gotten everything right, and he will attach everything together, the whole wall, while it lays on the floor like this. The door will be pretty close to right in the middle of the wall, and he wants it to fit as tightly as possible. For obvious reasons, we want the heat to stay in the room. This floor is not level, and Mark did account for that a little bit when he built this wall, but apparently not enough. So, as he says, he had to give it lots of love taps to get it in the right spot.
Lights in the way. I can't at the moment. Trying to get the wall in place. It's gonna be a little noisy. I'm not making noise, loud noises.
Now that he's got it in place, he is screwing it to the wall, the floor, and the ceiling. Mark decided to use OSB, which looks kind of like plywood to me, but it's not, instead of drywall because it was just cheaper than drywall. But it works out too because OSB is a lot more durable than drywall. So in a place like this, a shop where how it looks doesn't matter as much as in the house, having something more durable and also cheaper, it was an easy decision. For the top part of the wall, Mark just cut a rectangle to fit, and then he cut out the place for the door after attaching the OSB to the wall. Then for the lower two sections, he just cut rectangles to fit. Mark used rock wool insulation, which is very good at insulating, but it's also moisture resistant and fire resistant.
there it is. Closet built. Eventually I'll paint the door and maybe paint the plywood too or something. Make it look pretty. There's all our solar stuff. Bit of a mess still, we gotta clean up, but it's insulated and polyed. So hopefully this room will stay nice and warm this winter. Got a little heater in here and a heating blanket that goes in the batteries. And as long as it stays above 0, I'll be happy.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've still got a lot of winter preparations to do, including firewood and some other projects. So follow along to see more of that, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.